The amount of cannabis seized at UK airports triples in less than a year. The amount of cannabis seized from smugglers carrying the drug in suitcases to UK airport has tripled in less than a year, according to officials. So far, in 2024, about 15 metric tons of the drug have been uncovered at airports, compared with 5 tons throughout all of 2023 and 2 tons in 2022. 136 suspects were arrested in 2023, while 378 have been detained so far this year. Officials at the British National Crime Agency, or NCA, say overproduction of the drug in countries where it has been legalized and the chance of bigger profits in the UK market may be behind the rise. Passengers are being stopped with massive amounts of cannabis in their luggage. Recent cases include a Spanish national, Fernando Mayans Fuster, 51, who was stopped at the Manchester airport with 8 suitcases containing 158 kilograms of cannabis after flying in from LA in May. Damn, bro brought more than 300 pounds back from Cali. He was jailed for 3 years and 4 months at the Manchester Crown Court on July 19th. Another huge seizure was made at Birmingham Airport on August 9th, when 510 kilos of the drug was found in 28 suitcases brought from Thailand via Paris. 11 passengers were arrested and bailed until November 9th. This year, around half of those arrested, 184, traveled from Thailand, 75 from Canada, and 47 from the US. There have been reports of couriers being paid up to £10,000 per trip, but they are wrongly told that they will escape with a fine if caught. The maximum penalty for cannabis importation in the UK is 14 years in prison. James Babbage, the NCA's Director General of Threats, said, "In some cases it is unclear whether the mules knew what the potential penalties are, but in most cases they were operating on behalf of organized criminal gangs. And it is those couriers who are running the risk of a potentially life-changing prison sentence." Gangs can make significant profits by selling and smuggling perceived high-quality cannabis legally grown in the USA, Canada, and Thailand, illegally in the UK. We would appeal to anyone who is approached to engage in smuggling to think very carefully about the potential consequences of their actions and the risks they will run. We know organized criminals can be persuasive and offer to pay couriers, but the risks of getting caught are high, and it just isn't worth that risk. So that's the end of the quote from that gentleman from the NCA. It's interesting. I think this kind of speaks to the reason that we talked about Oasis and the advocacy of Liam and Noel Gallagher, and what they're really pushing for is to end the need for people to risk their lives by bringing in 300, 500 kilos from other places, because that, as several people on this show know very well, is something that can really drastically alter your life. And so hopefully we see a push for some real reform in cannabis legislation in UK. And this is originally covered by The Guardian. Sorry, go ahead, Jason.
Did you say, Sohum, that the mules are on average paid 10,000 pounds a flight?
So the article mentioned 10,000 as a number, but it's not. That was just some speculation, some rumors.
That's just under $20,000, Sohum. That's a good deal.
It's a little. I think it's a little less. We're pretty close to 1-to-1 right now with the British pound.
Yes, I said just under. I said just under $20,000
until the cops take it.
Well, I mean, then obviously they're not doing their job.
I mean, 10,000 pounds if you get 4 years in prison? I don't know about that. I would not take that deal personally, but if that's enough for you, that's on you, bro.
I agree with you on that that's not a fair trade-off, but I'm just saying, 20 grand in your pocket, that's not
I mean, if they're being told that they're going to pay a fine for like a couple thousand pounds, then yeah, maybe, but that is obviously not the case. Like, I'm sorry, 10,000 pounds ain't it for me.
I wonder if the UK goes forward with legalization over the next year or so, if these folks will be let out, will be granted clemency.
They're not going to do that. UK is not about that restorative justice program.
I was surprised that Morocco did that right out the gate.
Well, I mean,
that makes more sense because like Morocco is the prohibition in Morocco, especially in that region, has been so egregious and so insane. Like, I mean, you get shot. Like, they know what you're doing past a certain point. It is terrifying. Like, you have to have someone who is from there, who is supposed to freaking be there, take you in, and you still might get shot. So I think that Morocco really, really urgently had to do this. Whereas the UK, you're probably just going to get a strong tongue lashing.
I mean, I don't think that's necessarily true. I have friends in the UK, and I know like where this is a Guy Ritchie film, so it's obviously over the top. But if anyone has seen The Gentleman, the way, it's a really good movie. If you haven't seen it, highly recommend it. It's just as a film, but I have friends in the UK that have said that that is not a completely inaccurate depiction of the underground cannabis market in the UK. Again, it's a Guy Ritchie film, so I'm sure it's blown a little bit out of proportion. But in terms of how it fundamentally functions, that's a real thing. So I would say they probably do have similar problems to what happens in Morocco, and there may be a reason to allow the people that have extremely established infrastructure for cultivation and distribution to be absorbed into a legal market if they were to change their laws.
No, I think you would have to, because you're right, Sohum, and they do have it is a very intricate system. But I was referring to like maybe how harsh the government is on the way they just strip people's rights away and between Morocco and the UK. I don't fully know, because obviously I've never gone to jail in the UK. I can tell you about county jails in the US, but not the UK. But I do know, I agree with you. I've got friends who are from over there and can definitely attest to the things that happen with machetes and whatever else. So, yeah.
Does anybody know what jail or what prison looks like in the UK? Are they more of actually reforming people like the Dutch and like the I don't think
it's as reform focused, but it's not as violent and dangerous probably as going into prison.
I don't believe that, bro. I watched a whole Locked Up Abroad on prisons in the UK, bro, and they get sick with it.
Well, I mean, knock on wood, I never find out what a prison in the UK is like.
What's that, Jenny?
I said, knock on wood, I never find out what a UK prison is like.
Fair enough. Don't be a mule. You probably won't find out.
And so,
women love to carry lots of bags when they travel.
I can't fit that much in my, never mind.
Right. So.
Yes. And what do you think about this, Stone? You ever muled anything across the pond?
No,
Don't be a
no, sir. That's,
no Delta 8 or anything?
Nope.
Damn, just trying to air him out on the show like that, Jason. Would you expect him to say, yeah, the last time I was on my way to Europe, I brought 10 packs with me? Like, damn, bro.
No, I mean, I would expect him to say, like, I brought a vape card or something like that. You know what I mean?
Statute of limitations, 5 years, Stone. So
yeah, allegedly.
Talked about recently, yeah.